Hello and welcome back to FarmStrong. For those of you who don't know, my name's Jack and you joining me for another week on the channel. You can see behind me, Dad's in the fork truck. We're just in the hay shed here. We've got 250 bales being collected later on, so we're having a little sort out. Hay shed's been pretty wiped out in the last month or so, to be fair. I think people stocking up potentially as they think hay's going to get a bit short. So two main bays behind me. I'll switch the camera around so we can see. So post-harvest, this main central bay and this bay next door were all full. See, we've emptied those out now. We're now into the small lean-to there. So we're just getting some flat eights out of there just to neaten that side up so that we can back the trailer in that's coming later to knock some of those top ones off. So just a bit of tidy up, get the body heat going this morning. I've just been sorting out the bales into nice eights for Dad to make it easy for him to grab them. You'll also probably notice we don't store our hay on pallets, just on the concrete floor, and obviously a bit of loose hay or straw underneath, but consequently the bottom bales tend to get a bit dusty on the bottom, so had the broom out and just tidy those off. In the years we don't sell it all, we do tend to end up having to burn a few at the end of the year, or some of the bottom bales that have got a bit wet or mouldy. But this year we'll certainly clean the shed out. I think that back bay in there, to be fair, is last year's hay, which we'll get rid of as well. I'd love to know if there are any other farmers that use a broken hay tiller tine to keep their price sign secured to their bales of hay. Last bit just getting tucked away there. I've got a sweat on, bit out of breath, definitely warm the core up that. Just picking up a bit of a manky bale there. That was just sat against the wall, so a bit of moisture's got to it. We could just back a trailer in that bay now up against those bales, and we can handboard those top ones off straight onto the trailer rather than having to chuck them down and then pick them up again. So save some handling. We've decided that once we get the concrete floor, the hard floor cleared in the hay shed, we'll get these bits of kit tucked in there for winter, including the plough and maybe a few of those bits as well. But certainly get these out the weather when it turns January, February. Popped up to the other farm this morning, loading some wheat out, had 3 loads, and yeah, annoyingly all back to back. All came at the same time, so a couple of drivers had to be patient. But yeah, 1 PX lorry and a couple of others, all the wheat going as hard biscuit wheat, but loaded up, just tidied out the shed. Did it all with the JCB, so nice and easy. Just had to ask the chap with the PX lorry to sweep a little bit of rice out the back of his truck. I suppose I could have taken it home for my tea. Not sure what it is, bit of long grain, might be a bit of basmati, definitely not Mexican style. Got 640 bales of hay going out just now. So Dad's on the truck, and I'm just in the stack here, getting stuff down from the rafters and making 8s. Getting a bit hot and sweaty. It looks very dark in here as well, but it is very cloudy today, but it's the afternoon, Monday afternoon now. It is Tuesday morning. The raincoat is on as it is very wet outside. A lot of water on the road on the way to work this morning. You might notice I'm obviously in the workshop if you're a previous viewer, but it is light in here. It's almost like Blackpool illuminations. Electricians came yesterday afternoon and we've had some new lights put in. So yeah, let's have a look at those. So what we had before is just, oh well, I don't know how long these lights have been here, but loads of fluorescent tubes, a lot of which were blown and couldn't find new bulbs for at sensible prices at all. And then we did have that big sort of space lamp in the middle as well. But now we've got quite a few LED strip lights put in. I think we're going to have 8 in total. We've got 5 in at the moment. So in the corner over here you can see there's 2 of the old fluorescent tube lights. So both of those are going to come out and we're just going to have one in the middle and then we're going to have one up in that bay and one up in the front bay. So yeah, nice to get some proper lighting in here. I mean, during the winter it's been pretty impossible to see what you're doing, so nice to have a nice light space. Hopefully means I can work on this thing and make my promise of getting it rebuilt by, I don't know what I said, March, April. Maybe we'll say April, that gives me some more time. Just dropping the grain bucket off the fork truck as I'm going to go and empty some of the waste in this little yellow bucket. So yeah, this just gets filled up with the waste from the dust extraction. So hopefully without making a mess, I'll get this tipped in the orange trailer in the shed. Without hitting anything. Nice dust cloud so you can't see anything. Lovely job. Just getting the pit filled up in the dressing shed. So I'll grab a scoop of this. just give this a little shunt up as well. Happy days. So I walk past these G-clamps hanging up on the wall in the workshop, obviously every time I'm in here, and I always look at them and think they're pretty interesting, mainly due to the size of them. So comparison for a more modern G-clamp with a similar size opening, I mean, the size of that is just considerable. I mean, that's a huge casting. Yeah, so anyway, got them down off the wall and thought I'd just dust them off and have a look at them. And interestingly, first thing I saw was this here, which I'm assuming is a military broad arrow. And then that did make me think, because we used to, Second World War, had an air base just up the lane, matching airfield. I did very briefly wonder if they'd somehow made their way onto our farm from there. But then did dust off that little date stamp, which says 1952. So obviously post Second World War. But yeah, where they've come from and how they quite made it into our workshop, I don't know. Maybe they're just being bought from somewhere. But yeah, serious bit of kit that. They don't make them like that anymore. It's a real decent casting, that. So yeah, I found that vaguely interesting, liking my engineering and a bit of history as well. 4 o'clock now, so shutting her down for the day. Start with the pick conveyor. We have quiet. Let's just turn the dust extraction off in a second. Just have to let that chuck some dust out first. It is Wednesday morning, steady morning so far. Did have a grain lorry in first thing, picking up some wheat. He was then off to the mill at Bishop Stortford and then coming back. So hopefully I'll be getting him loaded again late morning. Otherwise, just a few jobs around the yard and in the workshop probably today. Going to run some errands, go and pick up some bits we need, etc, etc. Interestingly, had the Essex County NFU meeting last night. Tom Bradshaw was the guest speaker, so it was very interesting getting to hear from the president of the NFU, talking a lot about IHT, obviously, and the work the NFU have been doing. I think some of us perhaps get the impression, obviously, because the Labour government haven't really moved on IHT yet, perhaps get some of the impression that the NFU haven't had much success there. But Tom explained the work that they've been doing to lobby the government, and actually they do a lot behind the scenes, and have made some real good headway with some Labour MPs. Obviously, he expresses that the key to getting any change on IHT is through Labour backbench MPs. So he made clear they're not a protest organisation. They are a lobby. They are lobbyists. They are a lobbying organisation. So yeah, so very interesting getting to hear him speak. Hats off to the hard work he does. And yeah, so sort of fight continues really, trying to get this forestalling clause removed, and then also trying to lobby the other political parties to support good farming policy come that next election. So yeah, enjoyable evening. Finished up loading that lorry now. Just going to tip what's left in the bucket from filling the middle. He was off to Downham Market with that in Norfolk. Not sure if there's a mill there or he's taking that somewhere else. We'll get the shed swept out and be on our way. Just popped to Tuckwell's John Deere dealership as we're dropping our spreader off for a service. Notice they've got a big 8R in the at the front of the shop here. The size of that thing. Sun bonnet on it. That's a 7R parked behind it for size comparison. It is Thursday morning. As you can see, it's looking pretty dark behind me. It's 7:20, and yeah, early mornings are definitely getting darker and evenings are definitely getting shorter. So yeah, not too cold though, pretty mild still. So just jumper weather, no ice on the car this morning. Just in the tractor shed. Just going to sort of very quick, easy job this morning. There's a brake light out on the Kramer, so I'm just going to get that changed over. Just 4 little screws to get the lens cover off. I've got some new bulbs in my pocket, which we picked up from Tuckwell's yesterday while we were there. Did put a few clips in of the 8R that was on their forecourt. Looked a pretty impressive tractor. Obviously I've no experience with them, but yeah, it just looked like a bit of a beast parked up with that long bonnet. Just pop the new bulb in and then we'll get the lens on. And hopefully I can give it a test and leave the camera there and hopefully see the light pop on. So hoping that worked. So as long as time allows today, I'm going to crack on with some more work on the Alice B head here. Just try and get that to a point where I can get it totally clean, finished, wrapped up in newspaper and put away when I'm ready to rebuild the whole of the head. In other news actually, it's even brighter in here again this morning. The electricians came back and just finished up those lights in the centre bay. Still do have one to finish in the back corner, but they'll be back either later this week or perhaps next week to finish that and some lighting in another shed we've got. Just looked up into the sky at the moon and it is a near perfect half. Slightly wonky, but near perfect half. It's the last bit of the knoll win. Heading off to the sea cleaner. So it's a bit later in the day now, so that'll probably finish going through the dresser tomorrow or start next week if we don't get around to it. But just blown this floor back, so I'm sure we'll fill this up with some machinery or something shortly. Last bit, just in the pit there. So we have made it to Friday, guys. Nice little bit of sun this morning to finish the week. I'm just in the hay shed here, having a good tidy up. You can see it's looking pretty clean behind me. So just been in the fork truck, running a couple of bales round with the grab, and had the broom out, just sweeping all the remnants off the floor back into a heap in the back of the shed. I did grab a couple of clips of me just finishing up, but yeah, just had 4 bales in the clamp. I was just pushing those along the floor just to get all the loose stuff off. Probably when we've got better weather in the new year, that'll all go on the fire heap. So yeah, left with probably about 250 bales or so there in the corner, which are actually from last year's harvest. So I expect they'll probably get taken before Christmas, so we'll have an empty shed. That's probably about 12,000 small conventional bales that we've sold this year. Obviously, don't normally sell out before Christmas, but with the very dry weather we've had, plenty's been going out. So good for us. We just want to get it out the shed, get it sold, get it empty, and then we can use the space for some dry storage. We'll get that cultivation kit in here once that last bit's gone. Dad just rolling in on the sprayer. Not sure where he's been, but it's been a nice still day, so taking the chance. You're actually now joining me on Saturday afternoon. I got so tied up yesterday afternoon helping the electricians out that I forgot to sign this week's video off. So it just leaves me to say thanks for joining me for another week on the channel, and I'll see you again next week. And I'm going to say it, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content.